take a look at the only book hospital in Taiwan, which specializes in restoring old books. In Vietnam, a scholarship recipient's university dream finally came true with the assistance from Tzu Chi volunteers. Selamat datang ke DaAi Headlines, saya Simon Gan. Terima kasih menyertai sesi berita kita. For a book which aged over hundreds or even thousands of years, if it breaks, how does one restore it? Today in this episode, we'll bring you to the only book hospital in Taiwan. The library is over 60 years old and has many technologies when it comes to restoring an old book. A group of rare book conservators are also there. Let's take a look.
Carefully putting vintage paper's fiber onto the old book. Every step requires minimal force, yet perfect control. This is to restore an 100-year-old book. Using a microscope to examine the book's material, bulk condition, and molds, these steps are necessary before restoration.
We have to collect a lot of paper. This is the Japanese hand paper. Many books before use hand paper to print. Now because we're doing restoration, any book that has hand paper, we have to use hand paper to restore.
On the other side of the old book restoration room, wheatgrass is being cooked. This is also an important process to restoring an old book.
And then this is the 50-gram wheatgrass. The process is actually like melting milk powder. We stir until it's fully done and then turn on the fire to stir it continuously.
Picking out the suitable papers, along with melted wheat paste. Under the skillful hands of a rare book conservator, half of the old books may be restored. If the bug issue gets serious, another method is required to clear out the insects.
A 168-hour period of removing bugs from the books requires a temperature lower than negative 24.9 degrees Celsius. The cycle goes on for 3 days. We wait until the humidity comes out, so this is a process of temperatures going up and down, and it removes the bugs from the old books.
The freezer underneath the library is for removing bugs inside the old books. At the temperature of negative 24 degrees Celsius, most insects will not survive. The humidity-sensitive old books go through the process of anomics fumigation to further remove insects. The National Taiwan's Library's Old Book Restoration Department has been set up since the Japanese occupation. The profession continued for over 60 years.
The National Taiwan Library, during the Japanese occupation, was called the Taiwan's Province Government Executive Office Library. When it first opened in 1914, there was a unit called the Rare Books Reading Room. And because some books in there needed repairs, a new department was created in 2007. We called the department the Book Hospital.
If you want to glance at a treasure of the library, you'll need 2 keys to unlock the door holding such treasure.
These are drawings combined together, and that one is created in the 1920s. When our 5th-generation curator Yamanaka Kikori, he received and purchased special information and drawings from China. It was mainly about Taiwanese indigenous people's habits and products unique to Taiwan.
These collections of precious drawings and old books are 1 in 10,000 here at the National Taiwan Library. Currently, there are only 2 rare book conservators here, and to manage a whole building of old books proves to be a tough task. The library has been asking for volunteers starting years ago.
It's fun. You can see these things. These books have interesting words spoken by ancient people. It's interesting.
The rare book conservator must have flexible fingers and understands how to use a microscope while knowing insects and the characteristics of different paper types. From practicing restoring printed books, volunteers must go through a 2 to 3 year training period in order to start restoring old books.
Normally, we think about plans to restore a notebook, to restore it to its near original state. Then we consider how to protect the item, preventing it from decaying.
The process of an old book restoration is time-consuming and complex. Sometimes a whole day of work isn't enough to restore a page. But looking at the gems of wisdom left behind by ancient scholars, and the possibility to continue the wisdom, rare book conservators feel a sense of mission and achievement.
Continuing our series about those who lose their voice due to cancer associated with smoking, drinking, and chewing betel nuts. In fact, oral cancer ranks 5th among the nation's top 10 cancers. Many, in fact, are men. Some 20% of the patients get the disease before the age of 20, and they don't even smoke nor drink alcohol. These people lose their voice during the prime time of their lives. For a report, as we learn more.
I'm Huang Yixiang. This is me 5 years ago. When I was 32, I got throat cancer and had to be removed.
His adult life was about to start, and yet his cancer diagnosis hit him very hard.
When I first fell ill, I hit rock bottom. Because I didn't have anything in terms of work and life, as I had to start from scratch.
Even though he doesn't smoke or drink, he was quite surprised to get throat cancer. The small cloth towel covers the hole in his neck. He needs such protection because a small hole in the neck replaces his nose for breathing, and this life-sustaining incision cannot accept any water or other foreign objects.
The nose will lose its function, and his sense of smell will become worse. About 70 to 80% patients cannot smell odors.
Breathing, talking, and doing ordinary things are no longer taken for granted by him. These changes in his daily life actually kept him locked at home for a long time.
For us, we thought about how to accompany him and give him confidence so that he can go out in public.
In the process of struggling to speak again, he was accompanied by his family. He followed his younger brother to start producing firefighting evacuation models and designs so he could communicate with customers via computer. However, he didn't want to be silent forever. In many martial arts novels and movies, skilled martial arts masters hold their breath and perform feats such as ventriloquism. In Huang Yixiang's quest to speak, he learned to speak from his esophagus, but every time he speaks, he needs to inhale and hold his breath, which is quite laborious. This led him to stop several times. The sudden change in his life led him to work hard to rehabilitate himself and restore his health. This also helped other people who have the same illness as himself.
When we don't know if we can talk in the future, we panic. So I shared some of my experience and shared this with other patients.
At Taichung Veterans General Hospital, a special workshop is held with most of the patients accompanied by family members. For many, when they lose their voice, it's not easy to walk out of the house.
After I had the operation, I walked 2 steps behind my wife. This is because I was afraid that people will meet with a good morning and I would be mute. Our association's goal aside from allowing you to speak again is to restore your life to exactly the same state as before.
While there aren't a large number of patients, there's also no complete coursework in esophageal speaking, as it totally depends on the experience of patients. There's also a speech therapist which assists during the most dangerous relapse period.
If he doesn't have a neck or spine injury, we'll make small movements to rotate this part of the body. We make small movements and ask them to turn their head back.
The British choir shouted cancer is comprised of members who all lack a larynx, causing them to lose their voice. Still, they stand proudly on stage and sing.
Insert the pharynx protector in esophagus.
In fact, a small hole between the trachea and esophagus can help people put in a pharynx protector. While it may now be easier to make sounds with the esophagus through this implant, and the usage rate in Europe and the United States is as high as 90%, one must still press the neck with both hands. Furthermore, there's no health insurance coverage for this item in Taiwan, making the price quite high, as the usage rate is still not high. Still, there are some patients who have succeeded with it and can now sing with their esophagus. Although they can only make a weak tone, those without larynx are working hard to recover their original voice and enjoy singing. The Taiwan Laryngectomy Speech Rehabilitation Association also organized a speech contest to encourage those affected to continue rehab and develop a new voice.
Due to the coronavirus epidemic, this year's Terima conference was largely held online. Medical teams from different countries came together largely through the cloud. Though in China's Xiamen and Shenzhen, a large number of doctors and medical staff were able to meet in person.
The Mid-Autumn Festival is an annual reunion for doctors from all over the world who use this short holiday to cultivate themselves and improve their skills together. This year, because of the epidemic, the meeting has largely been changed to the cloud, though the warmth of the event remains unabated.
In previous years, the medical staff always went to Taiwan to celebrate with the master. Then I thought of being in Xiamen this year. I thought that we should make several different mooncake flavors so that everyone can feel at home in Xiamen.
Medical staff from various cities in Fujian gathered in Xiamen to share their learning from the medical journey with doctors around the world.
We can call the disease a teacher, as many patients are our teachers. So we must be grateful for patients to give us such an opportunity. I'm also grateful to him for letting us continue to learn and improve.
我觉得上人说得非常好。
I think the master said it very well. Heal the silk, heal the body, heal the heart, and then spread the love to benefit a wide range of people.
更广泛的人受益。
Meanwhile, others were linked online as this group of medical workers in Shenzhen had their own expectations after participating in the meeting.
如果能有机会的话呢？
If there's a chance, I would like to introduce the medical humanistic philosophy of Tzu Chi to the team of the Hong Kong University Shenzhen Hospital.
这个深圳港大深圳医院的这个团队里面。
我们想能够带领更多的。
We want to be able to lead more great doctors to participate in the free clinic together, and then this will help more people in need solve their illnesses.
帮更多的有需要的人解决病苦。
Although the epidemic has restricted everyone's actions, the benevolent intentions of the doctors are still fully present at the annual medical gathering. This will allow the love of the people to shine to places in need around the world.
In Vietnam, Mai Thi Lan had a tough childhood as she suffered domestic violence by her alcoholic father, and her mother suffers from dialysis. Despite all the hardship, she was very hardworking and always had the dream of pursuing her tertiary studies. This time, her dream finally came true as Tzu Chi volunteers assisted her in enrolling into the Vietnam's Women Academy.
Lớn lên trong tình thương của những người xa lạ, cũng để đứa trẻ ấy lớn lên mà lòng không mang đầy thù hận. Chúng ta sẽ dạy dỗ những học sinh thành một hạt giống luôn thiện, hy vọng những hạt giống ấy sẽ phát triển thành một cây to cho mọi người bóng mát.
Mai Thi Lan's childhood was not happy as she has an alcoholic father with domestic violence and a mother who suffers from dialysis. However, she has been very hardworking when it comes to education.
You all have helped my daughter fulfill her dreams. Our family is very grateful towards all of you. We fully rely on you all to help her now.
Her family condition has once made her feel that her dream will never come true. However, as she packed her bags and got her emotions together, her dream is about to come true.
Every time after work, I stand at a restaurant looking at a university on the opposite side. It has always been my dream to be able to head into the university. I never thought that a dream has come true.
Tzu Chi has helped her fulfill her dream of heading into the university. From registering into the university to moving into the dormitory, Tzu Chi volunteers have always been accompanying her.
We have a gender and development faculty in our university. I have told Sister Darcy Lin that there is a scholarship for impoverished families for that particular faculty. so she recommended 梅士林 to us.
I hope that this will be the place that I can learn, work, and enrich myself. I hope that I'll become someone who can contribute back to society. I've received lots of love and care from the Tzu Chi uncles and aunties all this time, and I promise I will work hard.
On her path to education, many people provided assistance. Shouldering the hopes of all the people, Mai Lan wants to use the knowledge she learns from the future and put that knowledge into good use. Beside New Taipei City's Xizhi Junior High School is the Shoufeng Recycling Education Center. Established in 2011, it became a place where elderly recycling volunteers can bond with the students, using their actions to teach the students how to do recycling and slowly influence the characters of the students.
要做的就是身心灵环保，所以我们的孩子的气质的变化，绝对不是一朝一夕，它是潜移默化。
The rectangular area located at the rear school gate of Xizhi Junior High is the Shoufeng Recycling Education Center. Established in 2011, the recycling station is just a simple metal shack.
Our school and the recycling station are very close. Every morning from 10:05 to 10:20, we have 15 minutes to bring all the recyclables we accumulated the day before from the classroom to the recycling station.
哇，你们也是今天的值日生哦。我们两个都是那个环保组长。环保一个，对，环保一组。连学校的回收跟环保。
Previously in our school, all our recyclables are sorted and sent to the recycling company. They'll then provide us with some money for the recyclable items. Later on, Tzu Chi came into our school and carried out recycling with the students. Although we do not have our recycling funds anymore, but Tzu Chi have taught our students the whole process of sorting recyclables. Tzu Chi brothers and sisters teach the students through their actions. I think that this is very important. By doing it themselves, the students will also have a different learning experience.
他们是亲自做给小孩子看，那小孩子感受的完全不一样。
How to categorize the recyclable items, how to sort them even quicker, where to recycle these items and not to simply throw rubbish.
Properly sort out all the recyclables. By doing so, we can reduce the pollution on our environment. Bring our own recyclable bags and don't use plastic bags. When we have our meals, if we want to take out, we can prepare our own food containers.
Environmental protection starts from the students. The students will affect their families. The families will affect the community. The community will affect the society. Only then can we make sure that environmental protection starts at the source.
The once empty space behind the basketball court has become the spiritual cultivation grounds for both the elderly volunteers and the students. Doing recycling has made them even closer.
你看那个师姑，那个腰都护着，膝盖也护着，全身酸痛还是要做环保。
因为付出很快乐，而且 I think to be able to contribute makes me happy, and it's for the greater good of the earth. I feel that my body is still healthy, so I will do as much as I can.
我会不会讲太多？做得对啊，赞啊！
这个红色跟白色。新冠病毒的疫情的影响，本来我们是想跟大爱来说，我们决定放弃因为平常我们跟戏子国中有非常好的姻缘，所以呢，这次呢，李主任一听到我们要拍环保教育讲师。 马上把9年级5班的孩子全部带到环保站，而成就这一次美好的姻缘，而让我想到上人常说的“信心、毅力、勇气三者具备，则天下没有做不到的事”。
At Quanzhou's Huashan Recycling Station, there are 2 senior recycling volunteers who are over 70 years old. The first thing they do when they get up every day is to call the other person to go out to do recycling. They have a good friendship and their bodies are getting healthier. Here's more.
You wait there. I will also wait there.
Ling Meilian and Zheng Zhaozhi live in the same village. They meet every day to do recycling. Meilian, who has more impatient personality, is always the first to call and wait at the entrance of the village.
I'm waiting for Zhao Zhi. She has not yet arrived.
Complaining about always keeping her waiting, when seeing the smiling Zhao Zhi, Lin Meilian forgets all the complaints.
Zhao Zhi, you also drag this here. Would you like to drag it or tie it to the truck?
The headlamp on her forehead and on her wrist are the brightest light on the street before dawn.
There is paper over there. It's over there. I don't have bags to hold it.
The two of them chat as they walk and pick up recyclables, not just on the roadside, but also from the trash can.
I pick up recyclables even though they are dirty. I will bring them back to the recycling station to wash and dry.
With a tricycle and a small cart, the two of them have been doing recycling together since 2012.
Doing recycling can improve our body and save the earth, so that our following generations will be auspicious and well.
It's good that you are willing to do recycling. If you are staying at home, you will sit all day. My son said it's a blessing for me to be able to do recycling.
The two of them are the oldest recycling volunteers in Huashan Recycling Station and have the best relationship. They not only do recycling together, but also promise to stay healthy by working with each other. She volunteer Zhang Chongyue is very talented in cooking. Ever since the 9/21 earthquake, she has been using heartwarming dishes to comfort the hearts of the people. She also conducts cooking lessons and changed the eating habits of many people. There's a fruity fragrance coming out from the wok. This normal dish has its steps, and after stir-frying, all the ingredients are scooped into a carved-out pineapple, followed by adding the beanbag cubes and cashew nuts on top. Zhang Chongyue's dishes never fail to surprise others.
I have seasoned the bean curd with onion tea leaves so it will have a tea fragrance. After that, I fried them with peeled chili to spice it up.
As a cooking instructor, she spreads a cycle of kindness not just with her students, but also her family and friends.
My family members feel that vegetarian foods are not bad. My husband became a full vegetarian now.
Zhang Chongyue has been promoting vegetarianism since the 9/21 earthquake. Whenever there are big events, she'll grind with the team to create dishes which can comfort the hearts of the affected people. Whenever something happens to a Tzu Chi volunteer, her care for others is especially different.
My mother-in-law passed away and we were in grief. She prepared 4 dishes and a soup for our family. It is truly heartwarming.
Her husband has passed away for many years, and she has let go of the pain. Now she uses her good cooking skills to create more good affinity with other people.
The master has always been promoting vegetarianism. I often told myself, whatever the master wants us to do, as disciples, we will follow.
The flavors in the dishes are just like the feelings in life. Zhang Chongyue is very passionate and is seizing every moment mindfully. In Malacca, Malaysia, a Tzu Chi volunteer held his own vegetarian wedding feast for their friends and family. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.